Okay, we're now recording. Welcome to Military 101. The Halifax and Region MFRC can provide this alternative method of programming to families with the generous funding from the True Patriot Love Foundation. Just a reminder that this session will be recorded and available to others after the workshop. However, the participant panel and the chat box will not be a part of the recording. Let's get started. So we're going to start with what we hope to get out of this evening, our wish for you. So first off, we'd like you to have a better understanding of the Canadian Armed Forces culture, traditions, lifestyle, and environment. We'd like you to become aware of the resources available to you and how to find more information when you have any questions or you're trying to figure things out. And we'd like you to have the opportunity to share common experiences. The military has a long history, and there's a lot that we could cover, but we'd be here for months. So we selected some information to kind of go over for this evening. It's a brief introduction to the Canadian Armed Forces, or the CAF, as we'll refer to it, as the many acronyms that we'll talk about this evening. And it's a journey and adventure that we're taking this evening along with that lifestyle. We want you to learn about the resources that are available to you through the Military Resource Center and other websites, and have an opportunity to answer or ask any questions that you have. So our agenda for tonight, we're going to introduce who is with you this evening. We're going to look at the Canadian Armed Forces organizational chart, so a little bit of who's who in the defense team. We'll talk a little bit about regular and reserve force and what does that mean, what are those terms, what are the similarities, what are the differences. We'll take a look at the elements, so what is that Navy, Army, Air Force. We'll talk a little bit about the rank structure, which underlies the military. We'll talk about some of the traditions and culture. We'll go over a few of the acronyms and have some fun trying to figure out what those look like. We'll talk about the military lifestyle, the risk, mobility, and separation, the experience of the military member, the experience of the military family, and look at some of the resources. It may look like a lot to get through in an hour, but we promise that this is an intro to the CAF. Please ask questions in the chat feature at the bottom right hand of your screen, and there's always a possibility of a Military 101 Part 2 if there are areas that could use more time or explanation. After the workshop, we'll send you an email with a PowerPoint presentation, handouts, and links to any resources you reference, so you don't have to worry about writing things down, and you can focus on the presentation. So now let's introduce you to the voices behind today's presentation. So I'm Kara MacNeil, and I'm the Director of Evaluation and Learning. I've been supporting military families at the Resource Center for over 17 years. I'm passionate about supporting families by providing information and resources related to deployment, mental health, and parenting. We are excited to be delivering this workshop virtually to military families. So, who else?
Hi, I'm Natasha DeCoste, and I'm one of the deployment program coordinators here at the MFRC. And I love cats, books, and a good cup of tea. I'd like a hot one right now since it's raining. And I'm proud to say that I grew up in a military family living in Nova Scotia, Germany, and Alberta. I also served in the Army based in Edmonton. I enjoy educating others about the military lifestyle and our strengths. Now over to you, Margaret.
Margaret, do you want to introduce yourself, our producer for this evening?
Yes, I was speaking way ahead and I was muted. So my name is Margaret McKenzie and I am the behind-the-scenes producer for tonight. My role is in virtual programming and training and program development. And I'm really excited to be here with you today.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so let's get started. So,
one moment, please, Kara.
Sure, yes.
When you're speaking, Natasha, can you mute? That's great, because I think we're getting a little background, so we're doing good now. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so let's get started with the structure of the Canadian Armed Forces, or the CAF. So at the top of the organization chart is the Prime Minister of Canada and the Federal Cabinet. So the Prime Minister is the head of national defense. So supporting the Prime Minister is the Minister of National Defense, or here's the acronyms are going to start, the MND. So can you raise your hand if you know the name of the Minister of National Defense? So Claire, we're testing you to see if you can remember who the Minister of National Defense is. And the raising your hand feature is right beside the checkbox. I know, I'm totally. So we'll help you out here. The Honorable Harjit Singh Sajjan is the Minister of National Defence. So the MND is responsible for Canada's defence policy as well as the administration of the Department of National Defence and the Canadian Armed Forces. So at this juncture, the org chart splits into two tracks. So to the left, the Deputy Minister of National Defence. Does anyone know the name of the Deputy Minister of National Defence? That would be Jody Thomas. The Deputy Minister oversees the civilian members of the defense team. On the right is the Chief of Defense Staff, or the CDS. Does anyone know the name of the CDS? We're going to put that out in the recording. You can think about this for a moment before I give you the answer. And the answer is General Jonathan Vance. General Vance is the second most senior officer after the Commander-in-Chief, Julie Payette, having primary responsibility for command, control, and administration of the forces, as well as military strategy, plans, and requirements. He is responsible for the military members. For Excellency, the Right Honourable Julie Payette, Governor-General, is the Commander-in-Chief of Canada and is representative of Her Majesty the Queen. So that's a little who's who at the very, very top of the military. Any questions? You can give me a green check if you're ready to move on. So who's part of the defense team? The defense team is comprised of both the Canadian Armed Forces members, regular and reserve force, and civilian employees. Combined, they all contribute to the safety and security of Canada. Civilian roles include firefighters, cleaners, mechanics, shop repair, engineers, HR specialists, or policy analysts, to name just a few. There are a number of roles performed by both civilians and military, but civilians would not perform the defense roles. Interestingly, MFRCs are registered charities, and as such, MFRC staff are not Department of National Defence employees, although a part of the defence community. On the next slide, we'll be looking at the differences and similarities between regular, or REG, force and the reserve, or RES force. Before we go to the next slide, can anyone think of a difference between the REG force and reserve force? You can put that in the chat if you like. So difference between the REG force or reserve force. Maybe you've heard those before. REG force is full-time. Absolutely, that is one of the differences between the two. So when we take a look at the next chart, we can see some of the differences. So some of the similarities as a start. So both members enroll in the Navy, Army, or Air Force, so they pick one of those three. Both follow the command structure. Both consist of officers and, here's another acronym, NCM, non-commissioned members of all ranks. So the differences, what are the differences in the two? So regular force members have made the military their full-time career. Members of the reserve force serve mostly part-time in the CAF. Their main role is to support the regular force at home and abroad. Reservists typically serve one or more evenings a week and or during the weekends at locations close to home. Some reservists may volunteer to be deployed on operations if there's positions available. You'll hear sometimes the reserve force is separated into three classes, Class A, Class B, and Class C. You can definitely look up more information, but kind of a brief synopsis of what that looks like is that Class A are employed on a part-time basis within their unit. This form of employment is entirely voluntary and provides no job security. A Class B reservist is employed full-time in a non-operational capacity. And a Class C reservist, this is the operational level of employment. So examples of Class C positions include, but not limited to, deployments to operational areas and core crew positions on Canadian warships. Work-related separation is not voluntary for regular force members. Regular force members can be sent on missions, exercises, duties, deployments. Regular force members will be posted or moved during their career. This is not likely for a reservist. Regular force members can release from the military after a term of service has been completed. Reservists have no minimum time commitment. So we'll just ask you to include in the chat if your family member is reserve or regular force. So we have a little bit of both. Excellent. So if your family member or loved one has joined the military, they have joined one of the three operational environments. The the top left one represents the three elements together, so that's what represents all of the Canadian Armed Forces. The next one is the Royal Canadian Navy. It's a highly adaptable and flexible force. While being Canada's outer line of defense, it conducts sovereignty patrols and search and rescue operations. It also assists other government departments in disaster relief, law enforcement, fishery, and drug patrols. The Navy supports Canadian foreign policy by providing humanitarian assistance and participating in peace support operations and maritime security operations. The Navy has a variety of sea trades and positions with training unique to Canada and envied around the world. Give me a green check if your loved one is in the Navy. Excellent. So the Canadian Army provides trained, combat-ready, agile, and quickly responsive troops to meet Canada's defense objectives. These troops respond to conflicts across the globe to fight for freedom, stability, and human rights. The Army also sends soldiers and equipment to assist countries that have suffered natural disasters. The Canadian Army is the largest part of the Canadian Armed Forces with 35,000 soldiers. Many Army jobs focus on combat-related skills. Give me a green check if your family member is in the Army. Okay, we do have some people joining us from land forces. Excellent. And the third, the Royal Canadian Air Force protects Canadians, Canadian sovereignty, and Canadian interests at home and abroad. The Air Force defends Canadian airspace and, working with the Navy, Army, and other governmental departments, conducts maritime and northern patrols, search and rescue operations, and intercepts of vessels carrying illegal drugs. The RCAF also airlifts military personnel and supplies and moves disaster relief supplies to regions in need. Abroad, combat-ready forces take an active role in multinational missions representing Canada's interests and helping maintain global stability. So give me a green check if your CF member is in the Air Force. Some people joining us from the Air Force. Sometimes members may even switch elements to pursue a different career path, which is something that's real neat in the military, that military members have the option of doing. Okay. Excellent. So now rank, which is definitely something specific about the military that it's known for. So the rank structure is divided into two categories, so non-commissioned members and officers. Non-commissioned members, or NCMs, are recruits who, upon completion of the basic military qualifications, or basic training, undertake occupational, meaning trades training. Officers have a university degree and receive their commission from the Queen or Monarch as officers in the Canadian Armed Forces. They are tasked with demonstrating advanced leadership skills and therefore leading the military members under their command. So rank is displayed depending on the dress or uniform being worn. Rank insignia may be found on an epaulet displayed on the shoulder or on the front of the uniform. So in the picture on the screen, you can see one of those places of the clues that you have in terms of rank. For more formal uniform dress, the rank will be displayed on either the upper sleeve for non-commissioned ranks and on the lower sleeve for commissioned officers. Rank reflects level of ability, capability, experience, and knowledge. The higher in the rank structure, the higher in the command structure. For instance, higher level of responsibility or leadership role. A formal rank structure is essential for passing orders and operations, ensuring clarity of command, maintaining order and discipline. Okay, so now I'm going to pass the ball to Tasha, and she's going to share her web browser so that we can take a look at one of the resources we're going to show you, and more specifically where you can find more information on things around Military 101 and rank as one of the examples.
Okay, so I'm going to share, go to the top left to share, and then share my web browser, and your screen will go blue for a second. Ah, ta-da, here we are. And if you want to take your pointer and point it to the top middle of the screen, you can press participants and chat if you want to continue to chat with us while we go through here. So I have a few things open just for ease of looking and learning. So we are on the National Defense and the Canadian Armed Forces website, and there are a few options along here, but we're going to go into honors and history, and then down to ranks, ranks, badges, flags, and insignia, which will take us to this page. And then as we scroll down, under Services and Information, there is a link to military ranks. And as we click on that, we will get to this slide, or this link, and go under Ranks and Appointment. And as we scroll down here, you'll see that the ranks are a mark of a person's position, as Kara mentioned previously, and that the formal rank structure is essential for the following, as we went through. And then there are the 3 elements, the Navy, Army, and Air Force, that you can take a look at, as well as if you scroll down, it will tell you just the words. But just for fun, we'll show you the Canadian Air Force. And on this page, it will go through the general officers, as we can see on this slide here, or on this page here, as well as any other ranks within the Air Force. And so it starts at the top, the general officers, and these are most likely, depending on the uniform worn, will show either stripes, as we can see here, or the flags and the swords and the crown. And you can see on the coin, or on the top here, there is a bird, so aircraft, airbird, and it will show as well on the bottom the names of each rank. So senior officers, colonel, lieutenant, colonel, major. And I don't know why, when I remember major as looking as a hamburger for some reason. I don't know why, but it looks like 2 buns and a hamburger, right? So that's just a little trick to kind of remember what that means. And then junior officers, it will go through as well. And then officer cadet here, subordinate officers. This is, as Kara mentioned, if you have a university degree, you can choose to join the military as an officer, and then you are an officer cadet as you are going through your training until you become appointed to either captain, lieutenant, or second lieutenant. And down further, warrant officers and senior non-commissioned officers, warrant officer, sergeant, chief and master warrant officers, and down here is the junior non-commissioned members. So on the right-hand side, that has just the clear blue. Oh, hello.
We're still good.
We're still good? Okay. The clear blue is aviator basic, so that means this is a non-commissioned member who is still doing basic training. And once they have finished their training, after basic training and they've moved on to their formal training, they will get the aviator trained to wear on their uniform, and then move up through the ranks to corporal, master corporal, etc. And then,
hi, Krista, would you mind muting your microphone? Just for a moment.
Yeah, we're almost done here. Thank you. Yeah, and then there's various appointments at each element as well. So drum major, pipe major, and trumpet or bugle major, as members can have the option to have as well. So that's just a little overview of the Air Force ones. I encourage you to explore this website. There's a lot of great information on. I'll take you back to the home page of it. The Honors in History has a lot, Education and Training. It just gives you a great overview of the military and the military lifestyle and military community. So I'm going to go up to the middle and click Stop Sharing to bring us all back. Hello. Everybody is back? Give me a green check to make sure that everybody is back.
Yes.
Yes, we are. And did we have someone else join us?
We did. We lost her. She's going to come back.
Oh. Well, welcome and see you soon, I guess.
She'll come back.
Okay, so yeah, so the MFRC is a rank-free zone, and families do not wear their family members' rank for us in the MFRC. So are there any questions? And give me a green check when you're ready to move on. All right, so
I really like that site. That's a great site for all kinds of information, isn't it?
Oh, it really is, and it breaks it down really nicely too, that it's not overwhelming. So it's an excellent resource for anyone to explore for sure. So yeah, Claire, any questions, Claire, or are you good to go? You can give me a green check. We didn't lose Claire, did we? Thank you. All right, so I'm going to pass you the ball, Margaret, correct? And here we are.
Okay.
All right, good to go. See, working smoothly, yeah. All right, okay, hi everybody. So I'm going to reference a resource called Canadian Armed Forces 101 for Civilians. So this was designed for civilian D&D employees. who are working with military members, but is also a great resource for you family members as well. It has a lot of information, but I'm only going to focus on a few of the things that you may see or hear around military culture. So here on the screen, you can see that there's uniforms, and there's a few of them. So there are a variety of uniforms that your military member may be required to wear at different times. So ceremonial dress, which is on the far left of each, I guess, rectangle for the Air Force, Army, and Navy, is worn during military ceremonies and parades. Navy ceremonial and service dress include alternative white clothing items that can be worn during the summer or tropical climates. Army and Air Force service dress is the same for all seasons. The mess dress next to it, to the right, is worn for formal evening functions such as mess dinners. Service dress is worn for daily duty and travel and is suitable for most occasions. Only service dress is designed for a variety of wear, and with a jacket and a tie, it's similar to a civilian business suit, just to have a reference. With medals and accoutrements, it is formal attire for all ceremonial occasions. Operational dress next to it is worn during operations. The Navy wears naval combat dress. The Air Force wears flight suits, and the Army wears field combat dress, also known as Canadian Disruptive Pattern, CADPAT. Here's another acronym for you, CADPAT. All elements may wear CADPAT at some point. The t-shirt color will be different to reflect their element. So you can see Army in CADPAT wearing a green t-shirt, Air Force will wear a blue t-shirt, and the Navy will wear a black t-shirt. So on the screen here, in the Army rectangle, where it shows the operational dress, those are the old uniforms, and those were referred to as the olive greens. They're not worn now. The CADPAT is worn instead. So members of authorized occupations wear occupational dress, which is the last picture on each part, when they are engaged in specific activities. So example, divers wearing diving equipment, search and rescue, or pilots will wear specific dress for those necessities. All right, next slide, please. Thank you. So here is an example from the Military 101 for civilians that I'm referencing, that name tags are worn on the right-hand side, and as we can see on the slide, that the location of the rank displayed depends on the uniform worn, as Kara had mentioned previously. So in the small right-hand picture on the right-hand side, you can see that the rank is displayed in the center of the chest of the uniform, and that is the CADPAT uniform that you would see. And on the left-hand side, the gentleman wearing his rank is on his shoulder. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so there, and yeah, so like I said, if you can remember to look there, you can see the rank and the name displayed. And it is the last name that you will see displayed on a uniform. All right, so the headdress worn also differs depending on the dress worn and will include a cap badge that indicates the member's branch, unit, or regiment. Most often, members will wear a beret in the color of their element. So the picture on the right-hand side, this member is a member of the Air Force, his beret is blue. Navy will wear black, and the Army will wear green. Now there are some exceptions, such as the red for military police that we see there, or maroon for the Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry, or PPCLI. So when in ceremonial dress, the Air Force will wear a wedge, which will also be blue in color, and the Navy will wear a forged or a peak cap, which will be white, and the rim will be black. Next slide, please. All right, saluting is part of military culture. So going along with the rank structure, officers are required to salute members senior to themselves. Non-commissioned members, NCMs, salute all officers, but not higher ranking NCMs. So if you look along the bottom of the screen, there's a variety of the ranks there that you will see also on the National Defense website that we just referenced to. And so if you look, the second from the left-hand side, the blue with the 2 chevrons and the maple leaf, thank you, is a Master Corporal. And so the Master Corporal will salute, if we look at the 3 in the middle, we'll definitely salute the 3 generals and the Rear Admiral. That's what those ones are, but would not be required to salute a private or a corporal, which are the 2 on the very far right-hand side. That sounds really confusing, and I probably made it more confusing for you, but that's why we encourage you to go check out the National Defense website, because it will show all those there. Civilians are not required to salute military members in uniform. As a matter of courtesy, err on the side of caution and address the military member in uniform by name and rank if you're able to determine that information. When unsure, sir or madam will definitely suffice. Next slide, please. All right, more military culture. So messes, not this kind of mess, my goodness. I'm getting a little twitchy just looking at that picture. And parades are terms that you may hear with your military member. Next slide, please. Oh, no, sorry. I thought there was another slide after that. So a couple of other military culture pieces are messes and drills. So messes are facilities where functions and events take place, such as social activities or dinners. There are different messes for different ranks. So you may hear junior ranks or officers mess, which designates which members will attend which mess. So the junior ranks mess is for the non-commissioned members, and there are sergeant and officers messes for the upper ranks. A military drill is about teamwork and moving everyone in an orderly and efficient way. You'll see this during parades, such as on Remembrance Day or when military members receive promotions. If I can share a personal story, when I was in the military, drill was one of my favorite parts of it because the sound of everybody working together and the boots on the ground sounding together, and when things worked really well and there was a smooth flow, it made me feel really proud to be there and be part of that group. So it's really something to see when it all works really nicely and well. So, and now that you know a little bit of the history of that or what it's meant to do, hopefully you'll remember that if you attend a parade. So if there are any questions, please feel free to chat or ask a question. If not, you can give me a green check if you're ready to continue. Or a happy face should you wish to do that. Okay, so we've heard some acronyms so far, such as NCM, BMQ, and CAF. There are thousands that the military uses, but don't worry, we won't be going through all of them. There are some that you may hear more often that we'll introduce you to. So if you can grab your pointer and claim a line on the slide, there are 2 sets of acronyms on each line. So the pointer is at the top left, and the arrow to you, and you just click, and you can choose a line. I'll move my pointer if somebody wants that one. Using the text tool, which is the T beside the pointer on the left-hand side of your screen in the toolbar, you click on the text tool, the capital T, and click beside the acronym to write your definition. And Claire, I'm not sure if you're able to use the tools like that, but if you can't, then you can always just put the chat and use it there if you want to use some of those. All right, so you'll have a minute and feel free to grab another line to complete if you're done before the time limit. And give us a green check when you're ready, when you're done. Ooh, these are quick. People know what they're talking about. All right, some of them can be tricky. And Kara, if you want to grab some and do some too, that'd be okay. Oop. Claire, are you able to use the pointer and stuff, or is it just the chat that you can go in? Because you can definitely put them in the chat if you are okay doing that. And looks like we're doing pretty good. Okay. Awesome. So I thought I was tricking people up with these ones, but it doesn't look like it. Somebody studied. Oh, yeah, Claire did one. Very good. Awesome. PSP, Personal Support Programs. Oh, my pointer isn't there. Oh, there you are, Claire. Perfect. Oh my goodness, a couple more seconds and we'll...
Oh, you found your pointer.
There it is.
And to write, use your text tool, the capital letter T.
Right to the right of where you found your pointer. And don't forget, you'll have to click away so we can see what you typed on there.
Yeah.
Oh, an orderly room, very good. MOC, anybody?
So, Claire, just let us know when, in the chat that you've written something, and if we haven't seen you, that should pop up so we can see it. Let us know when you've written something. Ooh, I know this one.
Ooh, which one? Oh. Yeah, so this is just a taste of the 6,000 acronyms that the military uses for various things. Ah, yes, that is correct.
And as a spouse, we used to be part of furniture and effects.
Yeah, so it's nice that they
put
in the personnel part. Yeah. 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 And another fun story from my experience growing up in a military family is that when the movers came in to pack when we were moving from Alberta, they actually do pack everything that is in the house. So there was garbage cans with garbage still in it that we unpacked. And there were, at the time, my father was a smoker, and there were ashtrays with ashes and cigarette butts packed that way. They don't empty things. Whatever is there is what they're packing. So, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So we giggled about it, but it's like, oh, that's interesting, right? So they mean it when they say that.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi. Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, Crystal.
Can you hear us,
No?
Crystal?
Hi. Oh, there she is.
Great, you can hear us.
Perfect. All right, welcome. Okay, next slide, please.
Absolutely.
All right, so you got a lot of them. Yes, the personal furniture and effects we were just chatting about. PR is personnel evaluation record. So if you hear your military member saying that they have their PERS file or something like that, it's just like an assessment or evaluation of their performances and maybe any training that they've taken or would like to take. The NOK, next of kin, is something that you will see on many of the forms for them to list their next of kin, whether it's a spouse or a parent. MOC is military occupation, which again would be on a lot of the forms, that every trade and job in the military has a, I believe, a number and probably another acronym assigned to it for easier reference. Field regiment is a unit that the Army can be assigned to. Primary leadership qualification, PLQ, down on the lower left, is what is the trades training, is the schooling that military members will take throughout their career. So it may be PLQ 3, or you may hear it referenced as I'm going on my 3s or my 5s, which are just different levels of leadership qualification. And oftentimes this it takes place in Borden for some of the qualifications, or Halifax or Victoria. I think a lot of the Navy stuff happens as well. All right, so that's just a taste of some of the acronyms. There won't be a test later on, but now some of them can be pretty tricky too. So now if your military member mentions any of these when talking to you, you can show off by giving them the definition. So well done, everyone. And now we'll see what the military lifestyle is all about. Next slide. So military families experience a variety of changes in their lives that they have little or no control over. Military members may have to move or be posted to other provinces. This means a complete change to the house, job, friends, room, school, sports team, community groups. The amount of time a military family is posted to a location varies, but can range between 8 months to 20 years, This depends on the military member's job or trade. So give me a green check if you could tell me something positive about moving or being posted multiple times. And the green check is just above the chat feature, along the lines beside the hand, the second square in. Anybody? Or you can put it in the chat. Okay, Claire, you can put it in the chat there. Something positive about moving or being posted multiple times. And Crystal, if you have anything to share as well, if you're comfortable doing so. Hotel stays. Absolutely, seeing new sites. Experiencing different places and cultures, absolutely. For sure. Yeah, so there's lots of positives. You explore new provinces, possibly even countries and cultures. You have opportunity to meet so many new people, make new friends. You can gain independence. There's lots of great things about moving to different places. All right, so separation for military members can mean that a member is in another province for school or training, on a ship for 6 months, in Iraq, or posted to another province for a short time and the family hasn't moved with them. When a military member is away from their family for a certain length of time, we call that a deployment. They could be on a training exercise, temporary duty, someplace, or on a ship. A job in the military is inherently risky. Military members participate in various missions that could include humanitarian efforts, piracy, or overall safety and security related missions. So we're going to take a look at a video showing some military families. So we'll ask everyone to mute your microphones before we get to the video, and we'll check back with you when it's done. Thanks, everyone. All right. Thank you. So any thoughts or comments about the video? You can write in the chat. I thought it was nice that it showed a variety of families. Yes, lots of families sharing their experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of families sharing. It talks about some of the challenges being apart from families and moving, but also about the joys like making new friends and supporting each other and being part of the military community, which is nice to hear.
I like to hear the perspective of the children, especially the one that was on IR, I think, because she moved to get closer to her dad.
Yeah, yeah, I get to
like
see my dad all the time. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, definitely personal experiences are great to hear and to share and learn from. Excellent. All right. Next slide, please, Margaret. All right. So as you know, this journey starts with a visit to the recruiting center. Then NCMs, non-commissioned members, are off to basic military qualifications for 10 weeks, and the officers are at BMQ for 14 weeks. At the completion of basic training, NCMs will be posted to a base to complete the first stage of their occupational training. Once this is completed, they will be posted and well on their way in their military career. So there are some questions on the slide in front of you. I'll go through the questions in order as they appear.
Okay,
All right.
I'll ask them.
Okay.
How long will they be in the military?
So in terms of length of service, the member can serve for a period ranging from 3 to 9 years of a contract. Members can sign multiple contracts during their career.
Do they learn anything new once they finish the initial training?
The military members receive constant training and education that is required for the readiness of the CAF.
Can we go on vacation?
Oh, I'd love to go on vacation, yes. Members can take vacation or leave, as it's referred to. There are often set times to take vacation, and this is called block leave. If a member wants to take time outside of the block leave, they are required to ask permission to do so. So going back to the video, there was a family there that said that they have Christmas off together every year. So often block leave will fall around the Christmas time in December, and there's block leave usually during the summer months.
I'm going to have a baby. Are there parental benefits?
Well, congratulations.
CAF, not an announcement.
CAF members are entitled to maternity and parental benefits, and the CAF will top it up to 93% of their regular pay. Members are also provided with complete health and dental care, having access to both services delivered by military medical and dental clinics. Family members access services through civilian clinics, so your local hospitals. If a member requires care outside of the military hours, they can access civilian hospitals. So, for example, evenings or nights or weekends. They then need to report the next working day to see the military duty doctor to inform them that they did see a civilian organization.
Does the military have a pension?
Members are paid semi-monthly every month. For those who qualify, there is a pension plan for members wishing to make the CAF a long-term career.
Where will they live?
So the purpose of postings is to allow the CAF to staff its bases and wings with qualified personnel as appropriate to operational requirements. Postings also offer members the opportunity to practice their chosen occupation in a variety of settings, circumstances, and tempos, providing a mixture of experiences and challenges.
And the one thing I'd add there, Tash, is just depending on who your loved one is with, the Army, the Air Force, Navy, also can make a difference in how often someone moves or where they move to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah, so the Navy may not move as much, but it depends on what trade you are, of course, and where you are in your career.
Yep. Yeah, I have spoke with families before who have moved every 2 years, and some who have been in the same location for about 10, 14 years. So again, variety, dependence for sure. Thanks, Kara. All right, so on the next slide, we're going to take a little road trip through Canada. Thank you. So to be military is to be mobile, and postings are an inherent part of that military lifestyle. After you have gone through basic and occupational training, you will be posted to a military base, wing, or unit in Canada. Although the members' preferences will be considered, the CAF will post members where their skills are needed the most. Usually you can expect to move to a different base every few years, as we just discussed. Members may also be deployed overseas if a military mission needs their skills and abilities. Missions can last a few days or weeks when responding to a disaster such as the earthquake in Haiti. They can also last up to 1 year as part of a long-term commitment like Canada's former participation in the NATO training mission in Afghanistan. Here are the bases throughout Canada that you may have the opportunity to be posted to. The ones indicated by a blue dot are Air Force, green is Army, black is Navy, orange is training or multi-elements. It is also possible to get a posting in the United States or Europe. All right, so depending on the member's trade, they can be posted to any base, unit, or ship. A cook or a clerk are examples of what are called purple trades. The cook may have joined the Air Force but can be deployed to a ship. A clerk has joined the Navy but can be deployed to an Army unit and is now on a field exercise. Using your pointer and text tool to indicate which base or bases that you've lived in. If you haven't been posted yet, use your pointer and text tool to indicate a base or bases that you haven't heard of before, or perhaps one that you may wish to be posted to. So again, your pointer and text tool is at the top left-hand side of your screen. Use your pointer, click on that, and then click on the screen to find the base, and then beside that, your text tool, if you want to put your name, if there's a few that you would like to go to and visit, or perhaps have lived in before.
Crystal, are you able to get the arrow? Your arrow is on the top left-hand side. I don't know if you have that with your with joining by a iPod or cell phone.
And if it's not working, you can absolutely use the chat to do so, to let us know.
What places have you been, or what places would you like to go to?
Like to go. If you had a choice of anywhere.
I would like to go to Hawaii.
Okay. In Canada.
Okay. Focus, Margaret, focus.
Focus. Right. Claire, you'd like to go to Comox? Or just anywhere in BC, possibly. So as you can see, Borden has the orange dot, which means that it's training in multi-elements. So this is where there are the training schools, mostly for the Air Force, as well as the logistics trades. So the clerks and supply technicians who work in the warehouses and stuff would go to Borden to receive their training. Oh, is in B&Q week 7. Excellent. So he is at CFLRS. He's in training now. Looking forward to visiting Gagetown. Excellent. And I hope he's doing well. Excellent. All right. Kara, is there any place you'd like to visit?
BC, yeah. And Yellowknife, maybe Yellowknife.
I was thinking Yellowknife too. I think we need to get a MFRC road trip. The Cross Canada tour.
Cross Canada tour, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, June 21st. That's exciting, Crystal. Excellent. Great. So your military member will receive an official posting message that will indicate the date they're required to report to their new base. When the posting has been confirmed by receiving an official message, the military member will communicate with Brookfield, who will in turn work with the member to organize all aspects of the physical move, so including the securing of a moving company, and this moving company packs, loads, moves, unloads, and unpacks all of the household goods. The frequency of postings depends on the operational requirements for any given base. Other factors such as the member's rank and trade occupation will also determine the posting duration and frequency. Although many bases have base housing, often referred to as PMQs or personal married quarters, or just married quarters, or just quarters available, some families prefer to live off base. Now this may be a matter of choice, or perhaps there are no PMQs available at the time of the posting. So if there are any questions, please ask and give us a green check when you're ready to move on. I can see, Claire, you're good. I'm not sure, Crystal, if you can do the green checks or not. You can let us know. Okay. All right, so now let's take a look at the military family. Living in the military lifestyle comes with challenges, mixtures of feelings, rewards, tears, and laughter. We talked about postings previously. Now we'll talk a little bit about when your military member is away on a work-related absence. We often call this a deployment, either domestic or international, but it can also be referred to as temporary duty, an exercise, on course, or on training. How often, when, and where, and how long an absence is will depend on the operational requirements determined by the CAF. There may be times, for example, a military action or a natural disaster that a military member has to leave on short notice. This could be weeks or even days' notice. During some absences, the military member may not be able to confirm their location or homecoming date due to safety protocols or until details are finalized through the CAF. Military members can be deployed anywhere around the world. Communication during an absence is extremely important for the member as well as their family at home. When possible, communication resources such as telephone and internet service are put in place, and families are welcome to send mail parcels to their deployed loved ones through the MFRC. So who doesn't love to get mail other than a bill? Right? So these parcels can include pictures of home, pictures of children, written letters, favorite candy, warm socks, things that they may have forgotten to pack on their journey. So definitely take advantage of that. The military lifestyle is unique. Along with the positive aspects, there are many challenges. Please give a green check if you have a challenge you'd feel comfortable sharing from being in a military family, or maybe one you anticipate. So you can write in the chat if there's a challenge that you feel you may have as part of a military family, or perhaps one that you've heard from other military families, or one that you've experienced yourself. IR was really tough.
What's the acronym for IR?
Imposed restriction.
Ah, it means you're posted without your family.
You're posted without your family, yes. So the military member is required to be posted, perhaps say to Ottawa or to Gagetown, and you live in Halifax, and their posting is only maybe going to be for a year or two. So some families may choose not to move the whole family and just have the member move just for that short amount of time. And so that is a little different than a deployment, because, you know, say after 2 months or 6 months of a deployment, there's an end date to that, whereas an imposed restriction is longer and usually within the same country. Yeah, my dad was on IR when we lived here, and he was in Greenwood. But my mom had a great job. We were in school, so instead of, you know, moving the whole family, you kind of had to weigh the pros and cons. Right. Of it, and decide as a family what would be best for everybody.
We did it for a year in Greenwood, and Paul was in Ottawa.
Right. Yeah, not an easy decision to make as a family. All right, so, okay. We'll move on here. Although every military family has a story to tell about their challenges, there are definitely many great benefits to living in the military lifestyle. Military families have the opportunity to travel to many provinces or countries, and many have moved from coast to coast. Resiliency is definitely key to coping with the demands of the military lifestyle, and learning to provide support to and accepting support from families and fellow military families. Friends and fellow military families allows for a wonderful connection and strengthening of that resilience. Many lifelong friends have been made with families in the same unit, in the same PMQ neighborhood, at the base chapel, at the rec center, any MFRC group. You get the idea. You want to make connection and relationships and build your support system. You never know how capable you are of doing something until you have to do it on your own. Embrace this adventure. All right, next slide, please. So here we have a few resources available to you as military families. We already looked at the Military 101 for Civilians and the CAF website. So I'd like to go over a few of the resources and opportunities we have at our MFRC. So there are various social activities such as coffee connections and adult dinners that give you the opportunity to meet other families and build relationships. We also have numerous volunteer opportunities that allow you to gain skills and, again, make connections in your community. For families with children, there are different activities that they can take part in to meet new friends and, again, gain skills, as well as there's respite and emergency childcare that may be accessed. We want military families to be connected and supported, and we're here to help guide you. Kara, is there anything you'd like to add on that point?
No, I think that you did a good job of that list, and the MFRCs are located across the country and may offer something different depending on what base you are. So it's really a great idea to be able to go in and check things out. You can check out the websites beforehand, but really to go and check out the MFRCs and see what's available. And family members can use the MFRC that's closest to them. So the example is if your son is in Gagetown, you're certainly able to access the Halifax MFRC if that's the one that you're closer to. So that's another neat feature. And you gave the examples of IR as well. So if the member is posted to Ottawa, but the family is in Greenwood, then they maintain and you're able to use the Greenwood MFRC. So that's a great thing about the MFRCs located across the country and also in Europe and also in the United States where military members are posted. So the ability to be able to connect and have a community to start with is awesome as you start to meet new people in a new area.
All right. So yes, Crystal, if you're close by either the Halifax or the Shearwater MFRC, please come in. We'd love to meet you. And you can connect with the Gagetown one as well, for sure. Excellent. All right. Next slide, please. All right. So we're down to our last few minutes together. Thank you for sticking with us. Please take a few seconds to think of what we talked about this evening. When you're ready, please grab your pointer, again at the top left-hand side of your screen, to claim a space on the slide and use the text tool, the capital T beside it, to write your comments and or questions on the slide. What was your aha moment? Or maybe something surprised you or made you say, that's interesting, I didn't know that. Is there anything you'd like more information on? Because we did go through quite a bit of information in a short amount of time, and it can be overwhelming and have your head full of different dates and acronyms and things. So definitely ask if you'd like some more information. We can definitely help you out with that. So don't forget to click away so we can see what you've written, and give me a green check when you're ready, when you've completed, and we can share your thoughts. Oh, Trenton is close. Excellent. Margaret, you're a wealth of information.
Yes. I've been in the system a little bit long.
Yeah. But that's good. Personal experiences is what gets us connected.
So yeah, any questions too that people might have as we did our whirlwind through Military 101?
Yeah. We said it's like a roller coaster ride.
Will there be a 201?
2.0. Yeah, we can definitely look at something like that because there is so much more information that we can get through for sure.
Claire, can you make sure that you let us know when you've written something, because we can't see it until you click somewhere else.
Yeah, don't forget to click away. I usually just click into the chat box so I know that I am off the screen. That's good, yes. Yes, the video is always nice too. Videos are always great to see, and there's lots that you can find as well, and blogs are good too.
And even though I've been working in the military community for 18 years, I just found out what CADPAT was the acronym for. So there you go. You can be around it for a really long time, and there's still things you're going to learn that's new. So I knew what CADPAT was, but I didn't know what the actual acronym stood for.
Yes, so, yeah.
Gosh, you were able to teach me that.
You're welcome.
Oh, great. We can see it now, Claire.
There it is. Lots of great information and resources. I will need to do some more research, language, structure, etc. Yes, definitely. Acronyms, acronyms, acronyms. And depending on the military personnel that you're speaking with, if they're Navy, Army, or Air Force, there are ones specific to those elements and environments as well that they may reference out. We don't hear as often. The civilian one? Is that the website we're looking for?
The one that you showed.
That was the
after session email, so we'll be able to make sure that people know exactly where they can find the more information. So after the session, we will put that in, not tonight, but tomorrow we'll be able to put that in the session for people to take a look.
Wonderful.
Yes, yeah, we'll send you a list of different resources and links that you can access for information for sure.
Thank you.
Excellent, great. All right, so thank you for sharing your thoughts and comments with us and for joining us today. So I believe Kara had mentioned that we were able to provide this programming with funding from the True Patriot Love Foundation, and also that Denise Cantor from the Edmonton MFRC shared her presentation, so we didn't have to start at square one to make Military 101. So again, thank you to her. So you close out today's session. When you close it out, a survey will pop up, and we appreciate any feedback you can give us. If you have any further questions, you can contact me by email. My email is on the bottom right of the last screen there. We will also be sending an after-session email that Kara just mentioned with the presentation and some resources. And when you're ready to log out, you just click on the top right-hand side of your screen on the X, as you would with any other thing on a computer. And we thank you again for joining us. And thank you, Crystal, for hanging out with us tonight and that you were able to join. And Claire, thank you as well. We were a small group, but an engaged group, so that is always a bonus, making those connections. So thank you for spending your time with us today, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you.
Do you need to